update on Phil and his ankle?
Yeah, he's doing better. We'll see. It'll be a game time decision. There's no fracture or anything like that. So from that perspective, good. But we're not sure about this particular game going forward. I'm sure he'll be ready, but we'll have to kind of wait and see how he does today.
How much of any team's success any year depends on health? You guys have been relatively healthy all year.
Yeah, no question. It's huge. I mean, we experienced it last year. I mean, Sean, even Max, Zeb missed some games. Like we had multiple guys last season, miss games, and certainly had worse years than that in the past. And you're only as good as your availability. And we've been really fortunate this year.
At this point in the season, not that you ever want to be without anyone that has contributed so far, but at this point in the season, how much better equipped are you to handle the odd absence like that with your rotations and with everyone knowing their roles and being comfortable with other people stepping in?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we're comfortable with our depth, but Phil's an important part of our team. And we all know why. He's just a really good player, really good competitor, and so it would certainly hurt us to not have him. But at the same time, we are confident in our depth, but you never know until you get out there and play.
Is it a left ankle sprain, and how integral is Jay Wall to this program?
Yeah, I mean, he's unbelievable. Jay Wall, and Roos, I would put Roos in the same category. They're all about servicing, our guys. And we're really fortunate in that, VCU, Ed in particular, has allowed for Roos to just work with our team, and for Jay Wall to just work with our team. They're not pulled in a lot of different directions, like at other places, where they have to work with multiple teams. And, that can be hard sometimes. You miss practice, you miss, time with the guys. And so every day that they come in, they're no different than a coach. They're there to, service the guys and help them be their best. And, Jay Wall is not afraid to step up and push guys, to get back on the court. I mean, ultimately that's the goal, is to get them back on the court. But also to be there to make sure that we don't push too hard, to make sure that we're keeping the student athlete, at the forefront as well of the decision-making process and when somebody's available, to get back out there. Certainly doctors are involved and all that as well. But, the situation with Phil is just another example of, his willingness to step up for the team.
If Phil is not good to go, do you expect Zeb to be inserted in the starting lineup?
Yeah, probably. I would think we would do that. That would be make the most sense. From there, he started a bunch of games, in his career already, and so not concerned about that. But certainly concerned for Phil, and want him to get back. And he had a solid day yesterday. If he can have another good day today, you never know. We'll just have to see how it goes.
What have you sensed from your graduate players in these last few games as y'all near your last games of the regular season, their last games of their college career, in terms of emotions surrounding the end of the road for them and getting ready to move on in their lives?
Honestly, not much. I think everybody's just kind of laser focused on what we're doing right now and enjoying the moment. And present, realizing that, we haven't accomplished our goals yet, and just trying to really stay true to the process, and I think all of them have done that. Naturally, your mind can wander, and you can fantasize about NCAA tournament. You can fantasize about, what am I going to be doing in 6 months? But we have to be there for the guys to remind them, we have to be present and focused, no different than we have in every other game. And I think you've seen a veteran response, from our guys overall. And hopefully we'll see that tomorrow night.
In the age of the portal, it's easy for younger players, for their minds to wander, right, toward what the next steps might be. Is it kind of an advantage to have the core of your roster, some graduate guys who know that this is, the end of their college careers?
Yeah, no question. I mean, there's a finality to it, for these guys, and that'll be a sad moment, when they play their last game, whenever that is. but it's part of life. And there's change, it is what it is. Every season brings a new challenge, and certainly we're excited about the young guys that we have, and we're confident in their abilities and excited for them and their future. But we're also excited for the older guys and the next steps in their lives as well. I think we have a unique group, this season, that's graduating. A lot of different personalities. All are capable of playing, beyond VCU, and probably will. And we'll certainly look forward to following where they go.
Do you anticipate the same kind of test that it was at Dayton against a team like this, and they know what they're coming into, and I know they'll make some adjustments, but you got to expect the same type of Flyer team, right?
Yeah, I mean, they played really well, in the first game. And, they were in a position to win the game for sure. And I know it was kind of back and forth, all game. And they got a little bit of a lead there, heading down the stretch, and then our guys fought back. And that's conference play. That's what good teams do. And certainly we're expecting, a tremendous, battle tomorrow. And it'll be a great crowd. It'll be a fun atmosphere. We'll celebrate the seniors, and then we'll go to battle on the court in between the lines. And ultimately, that's where it's going to be figured out. But I know Siegel will be loud, and it's going to be fun, for our guys to play in that type of atmosphere.
How do you expect that atmosphere to play a factor? Because Dayton's obviously no stranger to playing big games with big crowds as well. How do you think that'll
Yeah.
play?
I think they'll be poised, and with how that they play. They have a great coach, and Coach Grant, and they've played in tough venues already this year, and certainly they'll be ready for it. But our guys are certainly up to the challenge, and hopeful that we'll play well tomorrow in front of our fans, and our fans certainly impact the game, with how loud they are and just enthusiastic they are for our team. And but it always goes back. We got to give them something to cheer about, and so let's try to do that tomorrow.
Your thoughts on cutting down nets for a regular season championship? A lot of fans have been talking about that lately. I think that's an appropriate celebration for winning either a share.
I think it's just a personal, it's just a personal decision. I think it's school to school, and certainly. We're going to celebrate if we're able to get the outright. We'll celebrate if it's shared. It is what it is. It's hard to win a regular season, championship. And then all we'll do is turn our attention to what's next, right? And what's next is the conference tournament, and that's where you cut down the nets. My last year at UMBC, we won the regular season. We didn't cut down the nets. We had visions of, of winning that conference tournament, and I think this team's, very similar to that, and punching our own ticket. But, it is what it is. This team here, has a chance, certainly at the at-large, and we're hoping we're going to get it, but you never know.
Fans planning to honor Max in his last home game with some Ukrainian flags in the crowd just over these last few years while he's dealing with all the adversity back home. What have you seen his basketball family mean to him?
Yeah, I mean, I was interviewed today on Sirius about it, and pretty long answer, honestly, I gave there, and probably not going to do that right this second. But it started obviously at Utah State. That was a dark time, when it first began, and even his coaches didn't know the depth, of what he was dealing with. Obviously we always talked to him about it and tried to get him to, communicate with us. But Sean Bairstow was one of the first to really come to me and say, hey, I think you need to get with Max, and he's struggling with this right now. And, it takes good teammates, like Sean and like others that we have on this team to really look out for one another. And, our coaching group, is really close with Max. It's what, college athletics should still aspire to be overall. the longer relationships that you have with players, watching them, go from here to here and really grow as people and as players. And so I'm grateful for the experience that he and I have had together. Max has done really well, since that moment, and has weathered, some different storms along the way, relative to the war and what's going on there. Thankfully, his parents are doing well. His sister's doing well, and Chef Jen yesterday. I said this on the interview this morning. Chef Jen, yesterday, it wasn't out of the blue because she always does nice things for our guys. She made this what's basically a soup. It's a Ukrainian dish. Yes, and she made that for him yesterday. And he walked in and he didn't know it was coming and saw the big pot. And he said, "If I grew up in America, there's not a chance I would be eating this." He said, "But I grew up in Kyiv, in Ukraine, and I love it." He said his mom would make it once a week, and so it was really cool. He sat there and had a cup, with his teammates, which is a neat thing.
His teammates ate it too?
I don't know about that.
Did you try it?
No, it's beets. I'm not a beets guy. It's like a beets and potatoes kind of thing. So, but I'm sure it's good. I should have at least tasted it. But it's red, like a beet. It's a dark red there. So anyway.